The Claw of Geryon, cut from the creature of the same name, drives out all inspiration from anyone who enters into contact with it. It is thus an object that humans consider to be cursed, and they do not keep it for long. Finding it will not be easy. My informers on Earth heard talk of a poet lacking inspiration who had received a visit from the Sanctua Lumen. My disciples will begin there.
Hello and welcome, guys and gals, to Always Busy Gaming, your gateway into an imaginary world. Today on your screens we have Rogue Lords, which is a roguelite fantasy game by
My disciples
Nakon.
go to the home of a poet suffering from creative impotence. Apparently, this insignificant individual had received a visit from the Sanctua Lumen, an occurrence that immediately aroused our interest. Hoping to find here the point of departure in their quest for the Claw of Geryon, they enter the rundown hut and find a young man ferociously tearing up pages covered in crossings out. He unquestionably bears the mark of Geryon. He tells us how men of the Sanctua Lumen suddenly burst in, took the claw, and immediately left for the town of Pere. That is where my disciples will go. The people fear me once again. That is how it should be.
So people, today we are the devil himself, where we are commandeering our disciples, the Headless Horseman, Bloody Mary and Dracula, to wreak havoc throughout the lands in our name. So as you can see, the Headless Horseman is on this beautiful hand-drawn map and he's going into combat, where we can get either skills, souls, or a terror effect. Early on in the game, none must escape, but you also need skills. This dude is going to give us 8 damage, all of us, as you can see above our heads. I'm going to place a mirror from Bloody Mary behind him and apply Bloodlust, which increases her attack by +4. And right now I'm going to reduce his attack, and it doubled. Why? Because of the mirror behind him. Whatever you put, 2 of it happens. Example, this. Yep, she does want to dance.
Keep killing. I need more souls.
She does love killing, to be honest. Exhaustress and a medium now. As you can see, the Exhaustress has some mind barrier that gives her +6 resistance to mind attacks, and medium gets +6 to the health. Logical, right? He who has less protects that most. So each of them will take spiritual attack. We need to figure out something. You see, early on in the game you need to be more reliant on physical attacks, but later on in the game you need to be focusing on spiritual attacks. Now her skills are all over. Why? Because you can use them one time. They need to be recharged. So I am now placing that mirror behind her and recharging all my skills. And I applied it on the medium and it got reproduced on the Exhaustress, thus reducing the attacks of both. And she's already really hurt. I actually don't know what happened, to be honest. Okay, let's attack her. You see, Dracula has a 1 AP cost attack, very small but just useful for finishing off targets. That's how Dracula should be used. Now should we try putting the mirror blade back again? I think so.
Who shall die tonight?
Let's stab her. As you can see, that stabbing became double and it really worked. Now I don't have any more AP, otherwise I would have ended her right there. Now the Horseman's special ability is that he can steal HP and SP.
Mortal that bows down before my power is a good mortal.
from an enemy with a devouring charge. It's
Take
really
everything you
strong
can.
if you ask me, especially for that 1 AP cost. Okay, so now we have got 2
Simple
slashes.
mortal trinkets.
So that we get the third one and we
Find a
can
use for them.
upgrade them. We got 2 skills, right? What should we take? Do we need a strong bleeding heart? I don't think so, because that's always the end blow. Bloodlust, maybe. Bloodlust it is. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go fight along that entire road. You know why? Because initially fighting helps. The enemies are weak and they give you a lot of new skills which really help. Initially you do need a lot of skills.
Kill them all.
Again, we've got a medium and an exhaustress. As you can see, the exhaustress has the mind shield, whereas the medium has the HP shield. Oh, those 2 bars, red and blue, one is for the HP and one is for the SP. It's for the mind, basically. Mental points. Okay, let's double up on her. So now she does negligent damage. I would like you to at least have a hand in the attacks. You are the Headless Horseman, so you go ahead and charge and slash. Bloody Mary can put a mirror blade and probably end her, I think now. And that did it. You know what, Mary? I think you should use this chance to set up your mirror
Who shall die tonight?
and reduce. You see, Mary has to be your principal damage dealer, and if she's not out there dealing out damage, you're gonna lose. Stab them, please. You know what, Headless? No, let's end with the Dracula.
Those
Dracula
who do not submit must die.
is perfect for these endings.
The humans will finally submit to my yoke.
And we've got a third slash. Now they will merge and fuse and enter the second stage. The last stage is demonic. So there are 3 stages. I've forgotten the name of the second
The
stage.
humans will finally submit to my yoke.
True that. Now this is difficult. I'm not keen on anyone, and I do believe that, you know, it is good to keep more ending attacks on people. Like a feint on the Headless Horseman would be great to use it as an ending attack, and plus he can do it for SP too. So we're gonna go ahead with that. Let's go on to this sacrificial altar then.
This forest isn't so terrifying. Not yet.
True that. We are going to make it terrifying. In this area we can sacrifice some of our 2 skills. You know,
This sacrifice will make one of you more powerful.
I'm not too happy about this, but something has
Choose
always to be done.
Evil will not
And we have a triple bloodlust to take it forward. This is amazing. 4 vampirism, 4 sharpening.
With that, the humans will finally submit to my yoke.
Actually, you know, I should probably be taking only bloodlust. I'm not going for animal instinct, but at times it does have its benefits. This tabletop presentation of the map is, or sorry, of the world is amazing. I actually feel like I'm pushing a toy across a board.
I hate fields. I'd love to see them burn.
Well, sad, Buddy. It's already sad. So we can choose anyone and they would get the bonuses mentioned on the screen. You have to look for 2 things to fit. What is their overall attributes, as well as what is the score of their health as well as attack. Now this town is a town of mirrors. We can curse the mirrors and really increase our chances, but we have to cheat a bit. It's easy because it requires occultism, and Headless Horseman is high in that.
World in my image.
But then we need that to be higher,
The dice were loaded from the start.
and that's how you cheat, by being the devil himself.
The nighttime is only beginning.
And now they see the ugliest and cruelest aspects of themselves. That's our magic. Well, this dude is impressed by the Headless Horseman, and he makes it known, and for that positivity increases both their
Conductor of souls finally
stats.
deigns to show himself.
So this is our
Don't
shop.
make him wait.
The Grim Reaper is our shop. So right now we have only 40 souls, and that's going to be the problem, to be honest. We could get an additional one of this mirror blade. Or we could give something up to collect soon. Something which isn't all that currently necessary. You know what? Probably the Devouring Heart. The Devouring Charge, sorry. So the next time we reach the Grim, we will get it back and it will be up one level. You know, it's called putting one away for the future. Now we can move on to some more combat. So basically these are effects that keep happening every night,
Against the Prince of Hell.
either positive or negative, and the terrors are positive, and these
This
things
forest isn't so terrifying.
Are-
Not yet.
are negative. So now if I take one skill, I would have to face two waves, but 44 souls would keep me back up for that Grim Reaper, who I have to go back to. Let's see the path that we have to take ahead. See, this is very, very integral for planning. You have to decide the chapter ahead. Look at what is coming up and plan what route you would take. If there is one thing that you definitely need to do in this game, it is this. So if I see, the problem with an elite combat is that you don't get any skills or any benefits of it. I do need one visit to the sticks, and this would give me 2 combats up ahead. You know what, let's go for those souls.
I'm terribly sorry, but it seems your time has come.
True that, it's again the Exorcist and the Medium, so the first place is only full of these people. Let's get her down, because you see Bloody Mary is bloodthirsty. That means she can attack only those with the weakest health. So otherwise we would have had to attack the Medium, who has that shield on. So, but now we can attack the Exorcist. Her mental barriers are useless if you do a physical attack on her. Well, so she died because of the bleeding. And when do they bleed? When they attack. So that's another factor that you need to learn to utilize in the game.
Game are we playing?
Let's place a cursed mirror and go ahead and attack her now, because her shield is gone. She's already vulnerable.
Oh, you're going to love it.
But none of us have any attacks left except him, the Fiend. Another thing you will notice is that the attack symbol above the Medium's head has a small symbol of a drop next to it. That means that she's going to steal some from us. So her attack is a stealing attack. She's going to steal some SP or HP from us. In this case, it's going to be SP. Why? Because
Now you see what happens to those who resist me.
it was purple.
Finally, fresh.
Okay, so 44 souls. That's what we've got. Now it's a book chapter new. What is this? This is how
town
the
is repulsive. I'd love to watch it burn.
this is how the game progresses through chapters.
My disciples enter Pere. They approach the main square, from where they can hear loud voices. Residents are shouting a name, hope etched on their faces. Caleb, Caleb. The Sanctua Lumen is there, and among them a man holding the Claw of Geryon in his bare hand. He raises the claw, and the townsfolk go silent. With a sweeping movement, he brings the artifact down upon his arm. No blood flows from the deep gash. A respectful murmur is heard. The wound closes. He speaks. Serve the Sanctua Lumen, and you will be rewarded. I immediately understand the true nature of this Caleb. He is an imitation human. I revealed to my disciples the existence of a puppeteer specialized in automaton who once made a pact with me. They will find him in the town of Capellion.
So the Sanctia Lumen is the corresponding of the church in this game. It's the villain, to be honest.
Will all bow down before me.
But if you ask me, that what Caleb did was a sure sign of undead magic, and yet that's condoned. Quivering Forest, Chapter 2. So now we're heading on to Chapter 2.
The curse will pay for that.
And at times we get these negative traits. Each of them is different every time, so you've got to be mindful of checking them out, because some of them aren't really all that bothersome.
Sacrifice to dominate.
Let's see, what do we sacrifice? I can't think of anything. Probably the mirror blade. Now the game progresses and we have to fight a huge battle only at the end.
I am pleased with these offerings. Take them.
Let's take a twist of fate. That didn't really work out in our favor, to be honest. We do need her to attack more. I was hoping to get a good attack card otherwise, but I
By
didn't.
dawn, these lands will be mine.
It doesn't matter whether it would have been SP or HP, an attack was necessary. The SP attack that came was very low,
Simple mortal trinket.
and now our devouring charge is
The
better.
conductor of souls
See, you-
finally deigns to show himself.
You should try
Don't make
as
him wait.
much as possible to give him something to hold on to. Now I think this game should definitely be played by always leaving one card to be upgraded at the Grim Reapers. I mean, for 20 souls only, that's a very good bargain that you get. And now we've got 3 Engards. Engard is basically where you apply provocation on yourself. With the advanced,
Choose
we now
quickly.
can
Evil
put
will not spread by itself.
provocation for 2 turns instead of just 1. Now this dude is supposed to be my shield or my punching bag. Twist of fate, we got 2. Sorry, we got 3 now, and we can upgrade it.
Take everything you can.
Shard of Psyche, 7 years bad luck. Now 7 years bad luck attacks everyone, and it's amazing. What I found out is, in later games, in the later stages, people are generally weaker at SP than they are at HP, because there are very limited ways to dodge an SP attack. Let's go to the sticks fountain, though we haven't really used any sticks.
Fields as far as the eye can see. This scene lacks chaos.
There is a optional bonus event to do here. We have to select anyone, and then you know what, we can actually go ahead and feel free to cheat because we get a refill right here. Enter a village where a huge pyre has been built. If she's a witch, we should probably save her. She'll be of more use to us alive. Witch hunts have increased in the new world during our absence. People might even believe that the coming of the light, innocent people are safe. But then this pyre is proof that that just isn't true, isn't it? She offers to check if it's really a witch. You know what? Just go ahead and free her.
Let's get down to business.
But then I am the devil himself. She cries out in fear and runs off into the night. You freed an innocent woman. Okay, so at least nothing negative happened. And at least we stick by our rules. It's the Styx
The
fountain.
waters of the Styx offer invincibility.
Well, actually,
I need more.
at least I should have used something. Because we got 60 diabolical essence. That was not worth it, to be honest. We didn't see what that bonus effect was. That was the mistake that we did. Don't be me. Okay, we can set up an ambush, but then that's two waves. Let's attack discreetly. I've kind of gotten you loving the idea that more money means you can buy more things, and souls are your money in this game. It's a sad fact, but that's how the world works, to be honest. Okay, we've got a provocation there. You know what? I'm feeling lucky. Let's bowl right into them. And they can pick up the pieces. We are the soldiers of the devil himself, aren't we?
What game are we playing?
We don't even attack you when we can, because we know you are going to die nonetheless. Look at that. That's how amazing our attacks are.
Scream
One
as
turn.
loud as you can, condemned souls.
But to be honest, some of the enemies do look like they were undead. I mean, you got to make them really look holy. They themselves look like monsters. You need to really make them look attractive and then show them losing. That's what's fun. Let's go to an elite combat now. Now this is where we get our
But it seems your time.
asses handed to us. He thinks he's terribly sorry and that our time has come. But you see, the dice is loaded
Game are we playing?
because I'm the devil himself. Okay, you know what? There's no point directly attacking, or could we cut him off with initial 2 attacks?
Who shall die tonight?
Let's see if we can actually. No, just a little bit remained. Let's at least go ahead and reduce his attacks. So now we are all taking a lot of attack, but we can take it. In this game, you should definitely let your people take as much damage as you can. Like, you have to use them as soaking pits. But obviously, whenever you can, try and do miss out on damage. But initially, if you have a choice between attack and defense, go for attack. Not always, but when necessary. We could end this Hierophant. That's how I hope it's supposed to be pronounced. Now Faint does 5 to 9 SP or 5 to 9 HP and focalization, which reduces the oncoming attack by 2 HP per bitterness charge.
And just isn't in the fight.
My current bitterness charge is 5. What that means is you should use this attack and then use the devouring charge.
Who shall die tonight?
Basically, you need to have a series of steps what each hero should go through. At times you work in combos, but if possible,
I don't like this situation. Let's change it.
obviously cheat.
add to my power.
See, you've got
My
to
imagination.
use your imagination to build up those perfect combos that would help you really put things in order. What can you do with minimum? Should we attack? I think so. It's really amazing, this attack for just one AP.
The blade is sharpened to perfection.
I wish his last attack was there, then we could have ended it right now. Actually, it does pay to keep 2 of his last attacks. That, I dare say this, but the original cards that you start off with, you should always try to capitalize on them more than gather new cards. That's definitely how the game should be played.
Feed in the darkness.
Feed in the darkness. Please end her. She's dead. The tortured soul. Come on, look at him.
Game are we playing?
He's pained. He looks like he's undead. How is he part of something holy?
Who shall die tonight?
So what they are saying is basically that this thing that has replaced the power of the devil himself isn't necessarily holy. Now, because he has +1 attack per time he takes a damage, we've kept him for the last. It's in times like these where you using only focused attacks or even having only focused attacks in hand really comes to play.
What
Bloody
game
Mary.
are we playing?
Let's reduce his attack for starters. Please rally everyone up, Dracula. And hit him with some SP damage. Now, the sad fact about the Bloodlust is that it increases only the HP damage and not the SP damage. But for that, the corresponding substitute for that is the timeless vision that we do get later on. Let's attack him with great power.
Those humans didn't have a chance.
That looked lovely. He extinguished his flame.
These relics are potent enough to contain my power.
Curse helmet doesn't really look worth it, to be honest. Ghostly Wheel is interesting, but Conqueror Spectre really allows me to make a difference in the short run. In these kind of games, the more you can do initially, the much better for you. There's 100%. That first turn really counts. I have played in games where I've used that first turn to just simply end things so that the problems that would have been forthcoming don't even materialize.
My disciples enter Capillion and find the puppeteer's shop. He knows how to make a mortal out of an imitation human. Give him a soul. To do this, he gives us a wooden puppet with a hollowed cavity. If my disciples remove a fragment from Caleb and place it in the cavity with a fragment removed from another human being, they will then be able to send the person's soul into Caleb's body, making him mortal. As for the perfect soul, the puppeteer suggests that we visit a sanctuary of the Sanctua Lumen, close to Junction. Intrigued, my disciples and I decide to follow his advice.
Interesting. A
I
puppeteer
define, I corrupt, I pervert.
had sold his life to me once, and my timeless vision has made it such that it comes in handy right now, and my terror has gone up a notch.
These relics are potent enough to contain my power.
The shield from the army of the dead gives us protection, gives us an increase in protection for the Headless Horseman. The mortuary stimulants increases his bitterness up 4, which means that he can use his devouring charge more. And an old portrait makes the Dracula gain +2 damage for This turn per skill he recharges. Definitely not the old portrait because Dracula is not my attacker. Mortuary stimulants are decent, but I would need that I should definitely then take that tactical advantage because that is also used with 5 SP. You've got to create a chain. I think the perfect times are when you can use all the skills of one character in tandem. It's actually very easy to use the skills of everyone in tandem, but using one character skill in tandem really helps. Now the road we are going to take has been outlined with just one battle, and we meet the Grim Reaper at the end too. Okay, so that means they're ready for
No one
us.
stands against the Prince of Hell.
That's what they don't know. There's a great elder here. Is it a tree or a person? I mean, who are you referring to? He's not a great thinker for sure. But she's definitely a medium. The great elder makes weapons for the demon hunters. It's time to pay him a visit. Wow, let's observe that the weapons exposed on racks aren't nearly as imaginative as the ones used during the war. So not much of a problem, this dude. Hard at work, huh? Hasn't yet noticed her. Mary could terrorize him. She uses the perpetual fire in the forge to torture the blacksmith. He renounces all dignity and reveals everything he knows about the demon hunters as his screams echo throughout the night. She's really satisfied with her work and abandons his body in plain sight.
My influence is growing.
True. Now see, if it's easy to do and it's above 80%, you can go ahead and do it. I'm not sure about the other ranges for normal and hard, but if it's 80% for easy,
Much too calm. Let us sow chaos in their midst.
anything and everything after it should be easily made to first 100 and then attempted, because I have done things, attempted normal things with 90% and still failed. It's kind of sad when it happens. He is imposing. There's a print work in Ravenfall producing a book that tells the story of our defeat. No, that cannot continue. Let's go, we are ready to destroy it, but they give us another solution. We've got smart disciples, you know. Printing wasn't really common, then we wouldn't have allowed knowledge to spread so widely. Ignorant humans are easier to manipulate. He's ready to change the history. He could sneak into the printer work and change the printing plates himself, or convince the printer to change them. You know what? Destroy the print works.
If you want something done right, do it yourself. Limit
But
to my power.
on the other
My
hand,
imagination.
changing the print plates are fun. Now future editions
I
will
defile.
focus
I corrupt.
on the death
I pervert.
of Van Helsing and my imminent return. That's what children will know. Very hard to impress Dracula at his age, but he's still impressed. And the Headless Horseman is disciplined. And also unnerving. And also imposing. That's how you use him. And let's go into the sacrificial altar. Now generally I'm not too keen on sacrifice, but
Sacrifice to
in this
dominate.
game you have to sacrifice to dominate, to be honest. Now you see, let's, as an experiment to you, I'll not actually use anything of the Headless Horseman to sacrifice, and 2 of his slots will continuously be blocked, and because of that, late game we will face a lot of problems. Don't make the same mistakes that I do. You know what? I think I'm going to regret this.
Choose quickly. Evil will not spread by itself.
But let's try this, because I have to live up to your promise. I have to agree to what we just decided. His
With
faint.
that, the humans will finally submit to my yoke.
So when you come back, he automatically presumes that you're going to take nothing and give him 20 souls. It's kind of devilish how he does always expect that. Let's see how we can use the shadow hook, or if we can even use it. Okay guys, so I will end this episode here. Episode 3 will be out soon, and the link to that will be in the top right corner of your screen and in your description box. If you enjoyed this video, then do smash that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Also, do check out the game on Steam. The link to their Steam page is in the description below. This is Ashes Bashes signing off. Until next video, game on.